Hey guys, welcome back to Cars a Lot. First, I wanted to thank you all for the support on my first ever video. I appreciate all of you guys. Alright, now moving into today's video, we are going to be discussing unusual car features. Now, in the current car market, features serve a key role in increasing the profitability of the manufacturers. They can raise the price by adding in special features, whether that be heated seats, an upgraded sound system, or other premium features.
Nice.
Automakers have been experimenting with interesting features for decades, and I want to dive into the most unusual and sometimes downright obscene features toilet that made their way to the surface. Volvo heartbeat sensor, an anti-kidnapping safety feature. Offered in Volvo's flagship sedan, the S80, this feature was ahead of its time. The heartbeat sensor functioned by measuring the vibrations in the chassis caused by someone's heartbeat, especially when the car was locked or supposedly empty. Via the I button on the key fob, the car could be checked for possible intruders or kidnappers waiting to pounce on the Volvo driver. This was pushed to urban markets where crime rates were higher, but if the criminal was smart enough to sneak into the car, I'm sure he could also find a way to disable the alarm. Fiat 500L espresso machine. Coffee on the go. The Fiat 500L was the first vehicle in production to offer a true espresso machine. This Lavazza branded machine was built into the interior center compartment, with the deck of the machine designed by Fiat. Now, as we know, espresso requires the right equipment to make, a decent cup of it. So Fiat said, why go out to the coffee shop if you can feel accomplished by making it on your own? Buying it at a Starbucks would never be the same because now you can make it in your $26,000 coffee machine on wheels. Pontiac Aztec tents. Why buy a camper? The Pontiac Aztec, introduced at the 2000 Detroit Auto Show, was a revolutionary yet quirky car of its time. It offered a wide range of available packages and features, with the most interesting yet rarest being the camping lifestyle package. This package offered a tent that attached easily to the back of the car with straps, and even had stakes that connected the tent to the ground below as well, making sure you and your Aztec wouldn't blow away in the middle of the night. The whole process of assembly could be completed in under 15 minutes, and the car featured speakers in the trunk space to allow for entertainment in the wilderness hours. No more birds chirping for Pontiac campers, but rather a private concert by Usher or Beyonce in the middle of nowhere. Just make sure the bears don't hear the music. Now, other cars did have similar features as this tent, but the quirky Pontiac Aztec did it best. Nowadays, simply getting one of the factory tents for your Aztec can set you back a tremendous $500. Poor Pontiac. Gone but never forgotten. Bentley BGA falconry. Persian style. Now this is the perfect way to hang out with some scary ass birds. The Bentley BGA falconry by Mulliner featured falconry touches all around the car. For example, the trunk is filled to the brim with falconry equipment. There is a cubby for refreshments because we all need some champagne while we await our flying friends. And there's another cubby for falconry equipment. This cubby consisted of a GPS bird tracker, binoculars, bird hoods, and even two perches in the trunk space for the birds of choice. The Saker crest is seen in various places around the vehicle, and this bird can set one back up to $1 million, so the Bentley actually seems really cheap in comparison. Now, in the front, there's a custom wood veneer made out of over 430 different types of wood. Additionally, the front offers yet again another perch because it's a dick move to make the birds ride in the trunk in bird culture. Let them ride shotgun. Cadillac Eldorado Brew, drinking on the go. For obvious reasons, this feature would make headlines today for not so good reasons. Although, back in the 50s, it was nothing but the perfect feature for those who wanted a more festive and tipsy ride in their big boat. Sorry, I meant Cadillac. The 1958 Cadillac Eldorado Brew was a unique vehicle with only around 304 ever produced, but its name grew popular in family households nonetheless due to its highly complex and advanced features for the time. Setting you back $120,000, the owners were the big buck earners of the time, and their biggest surprise lived within the glove box. On a metal tray, a set of 6 stainless steel drinking tumblers remained held down by magnets. Of course, no need to worry about them spilling now. This about summed up 1950s culture, and Frank Sinatra, a functioning alcoholic, now had another source of drinks for his journeys. Perfect. Trunk, tailgate, or event seating. Why sit on grass when you can sit in a Range Rover? Tailgating has been growing in popularity around the globe, which has led to higher demands in pickup trucks and larger SUVs that have the space for seating when at events. Range Rover argued that since they don't offer a pickup truck, ignore that. As I was saying, since they don't have a pickup truck, they did this. Built-in seating systems that allowed quick setup to ensure you're sitting in comfort at the event of choice, even if people judge you and call you privileged. The seating fits in the load space beneath the trunk surface and still uses the finest of materials. So wait, in England, maybe they have Range Rover Tea Party gatherings with their special trunk seating. Heated armrests. Your arm is cold and mine isn't. So where was this back in the Ice Age? Yeah, I can't believe they didn't buy some Mercedes at the time. What a shame. Anyways, offered in a few select Mercedes models, with one example being the S550, these heated armrests function to obviously heat up the areas where the arm is rested, hence the name heated armrest. Now, this is even offered to rear seat passengers in some cases too, so the little kids in the back won't have cold arms either. With this feature, you can also heat the upper door panels with a rapid heating function. Mercedes drivers don't like waiting.
But a reporter
We
from
know
Fox has a completely different take, writing, quote, and this is the title for the article, I saw a Marco Rubio town hall in New Hampshire.
Now this is my favorite one. RollsRoyce Toilet. Drop a load at your convenience. In 1954, a custom Rolls-Royce Silver Wraith was produced, the only Rolls-Royce to ever be produced by Vignale. It was ordered by Joseph Maschuch of New York. The car held many surprises, but the most obscene occurred when lifting up the rear seat. Underneath was a toilet, finished with a gold seat, and when one would relieve themselves, it would dump the contents onto the street. Now, if I was driving behind that and saw shit emerging from the depths of the undercarriage, I may just freak the hell out. Now, Maschuch, the owner, claimed he only used the toilet as a champagne cooler, but I don't believe that for a second. If you custom order your car with the shitter, it's only polite to use it for some real business, not cooling some drink. Now, of course, many newer Rolls-Royce still have champagne coolers, but I really don't recommend taking a dump in them anymore. The BMW Gentleman Function. Wacky seat control. In some relatively newer BMW models, a Gentleman Function is offered through the BMW iDrive system. This Gentleman Function allows a driver to select the passenger seat and control its position using the seat adjustments on his or her side. This may be helpful when you gotta fit Joel Embiid in the back and you can quickly push the passenger seat up to make some space for him. In some BMWs, buttons have been retrofitted onto the door panel to make this Gentleman Function more accessible and easier to use.
You like being in the front seat?
Yeah.
Chrysler Swivel Seating. Family meeting on the go. Swivel seating emerged as a product of the Chrysler Group in the late 50s and early 60s initially. This swivel seating had no comparison to the swiveling office chairs that everyone at the time loved, though, and it was much more complex. At the pull of a lever, the seat would be released to swivel and spin along a track in the car. Although, even more interesting in the more modern use, in the early 2000s, Chrysler was feeling a little devious and decided to put it in their Chrysler minivan, the Town & Country. The rear seats could spin fully around and be placed in a position facing the third row, and an optional table came with this feature. Perfect. No more corporate office meeting or family table needed. Just buy a minivan and you're all set. I don't know why anyone would want to be rotating in their own car, but hey, maybe they needed an extra dose of thrill in their lives. Openometer, automatic convertible top. People were so lazy in the early 2000s that pushing a button just seemed like too much work. So, Mini Cooper to the rescue. Convertibles and roadster models of the Mini Cooper were offered with an openometer. This function in that it told you how long the top was down and timed the amount of top-down activity you and the car were receiving. It also recorded and measured the temperature, and at a certain temperature, the roof of the convertible would open automatically. Great, you surely think, but it really wasn't. The openometer always read the temperatures right, but if there was a humid storm, that roof would be flying open and you'd be getting soaked, looking like a wet seal once you finally managed to get the roof to close again. Alright, I think this is going to be the most relatable, quirky feature of cars. Weird stalk next to the steering wheel. It activates a bizarre flashing light. Alrighty guys, so there's this really weird stalk attached to the BMW wheel that when pushed up or down, it creates a turn signal light. Here's a demonstration. Now, isn't that so weird? Why would BMW waste money and include all of these electronics to the lights if people weren't going to use them? Use your turn signals! And after that little piece of advice, this episode's a wrap. Thank you guys for tuning into my second video. Again, I really appreciate all of the support and hope that my quality of video is already improving. Thank you.